Literally everyone uses Perlin noise to do world generation, but what if there were other ways to do it? And I know you are probably asking, why use something else than Perlin noise? Well, you see, if everyone just uses the same thing, and you just copy that blindly, you won't be able to discover new things. The point of this video is not to avoid Perlin noise just for the sake of avoiding it, but you will see that other techniques have their own advantages and disadvantages over Perlin noise that we are going to discuss. In fact, for this use case, I think my techniques work way better than noise. Also, if you'd also like to make a game like this and need help, I have my game dev course for beginners link in the description, where I also show you how I code world generation step by step, and many other things like code structure. Link in the description and it might have a special discount. So, the first time I ever implemented world generation, I didn't even know what Perlin noise is, but I still was able to do it. Imagine we start from a blank world, and we have an imaginary worm at the left side of the world. This worm will travel towards the right side, randomly moving up or down, tracing a path. This path represents the final shape of the terrain, so you can just fill stone under it. And then, you also need to place a layer of dirt, maybe using another worm. Now, you can't just move randomly up or down, that would give a bad result, so I will tell you how to get a good result. But I just want you to think about this for a second. Even though I didn't know what Perlin noise is, I was able to force my way through solving this task, just by thinking about it a little. And the result is even better than Perlin noise, as we will discuss later. But whenever you have a hard task at hand, don't just get discouraged. Try to take it step by step, and you will eventually solve it. Now, to make this look good, I knew I couldn't just move randomly, so I thought about the terrain shapes. I want to be able to create mountains and hills, so the worm can either move forward, up fast, and down fast. So I choose a random direction, and also a random length for the worm to walk in that direction. Then, based on the direction, I move the worm, also introducing some extra randomness. The big advantage with this approach is that it's super easy to tune. When the worm is moving up, I can also have a super small chain. It will move faster just for a small portion. Or if the worm is too high, I can force it to slow down and start moving down. Or my favorite example, let's say you want exactly 1 or 2 big mountains to be spawned in the world, and they should not be at the edges of the world. Well, you can take the world and select 1 or 2 random points that are far from one another, and also not close to the edges of the world. Then you can just create a mountain there, over the already existing terrain. This is, by the way, the approach that I like, where you create some helpers, and then, at the end, you can very easily layer them and see super easily how the world generation works step by step. And you can easily add as many rules as you want, like maybe a super small chance there will be 3 mountains instead of 2. With noise, things are way harder to tune. I love this world generator, and it just uses the super simple worm code I explained. If you use noise to generate the world, it will look very boring and repetitive in the beginning. Yes, you can get a better result by layering multiple noises, but it's significantly more work, and it's way harder to fine-tune than the manual approach I showed. But let's move to caves, because things become way more interesting here. Caves are usually of 2 types, cheese caves and spaghetti caves. Now you can implement both of them with noise. The spaghetti caves with noise are done by drilling where the mid-range values of the noise are, but they look super repetitive. So let me introduce you to Perlin worms. Imagine you drop a worm in the world, and you let it move randomly, slowly drilling away the world. This will create a tunnel, and you just have to drop multiple worms in the world to get this result. Combine this with the cheese style caves that can be done in a similar fashion or using normal noise, and you get a super good cave system. And the advantages with the Perlin worms are even more clear here. Let's say you want to have some caves that start at the surface. You can just spam some worms on the surface that are biased to dig down. Let's say you want to implement this crater here. Drop a Perlin worm down. Let's say you want to implement these nice caves through the hill. Well, you can just place a worm at the side of the hill and bias it to move to the right. And using the approach I showed you earlier, you can easily determine where you have a hill when creating the terrain shape. If your worm moves up, then straight, then down, that means you have a hill in that portion of the world. Same with biomes. Let's say you want to have a desert and a snow area. Just pick a random place to spam each of them. And you can easily add a rule that they should not be close to one another if you want. So what are some disadvantages? Well, because the results are super predictable, you may miss on some wacky weird results that noise can sometimes do, and players love these rare random things. So you can combine what I showed with noise, or hardcode some small chance of something wacky to happen, to allow for some more weird things like this. Also, my approach only works if you generate the entire world when the player creates it. For a game that has to generate chunks on the fly, noise is more or less the only option. And finally, there are places where noise shines, like placing some evenly distributed random blocks. But don't limit yourself to what everyone else is doing. World generation is creative. One time, I literally generated a maze structure, and I integrated it into the world gen to make it more interesting. Let me know in the comments what other world gen techniques you know. And if you want extra help implementing this, you can check out my game dev course for beginners in the description. I walk you step by step, from the setup to the code structure and gameplay, in making a Terraria-like game, with 6 hours of video content, and you get 50 plus challenges to implement on your own. The world gen chapter is particularly big, including what I showed here in detail, plus noise, and a ton of stuff about random number generators. And you also get some bonus cheat sheets to help you with all of this new information. Check the link in the description and it might have a special discount. See you there.